Hey everybody, this is Rob from Practical Tactical, and today I wanted to talk about dry fire practice and how much it can help your shooting. If you're anything like me, you love firearms and you have a very strong need to progress your skills and get better at it. But the rising ammo costs that we've seen over the last couple years have really impacted our ability to go to the range and get the trigger time that we need to improve our skills. I mean, at that point, it becomes a choice between finding a cost effective training solution or just sitting around and letting your skills atrophy. So, this is where dry fire practice comes in. And for any of you that might not know, dry fire practice is the act of shooting basically without any live ammunition in the gun. You go through all the motions of taking a shot up to and including pressing the trigger, but you don't have the live ammunition in the weapon, so you're not actually sending a round downrange. The main benefit of this, of course, is that it costs you nothing but time, and you can train and train and train until your heart's content, and you won't spend a dime on ammo costs. Dry fire practice even has some benefits that live fire practice does not. One of the main ones being that it lets you as a shooter focus on each and every part of the mechanics of shooting. Are you slapping the trigger while you're firing, or are you tightening your grip and jerking the gun down while you're shooting? When you're firing on a range, you sometimes can't even really tell. But in dry fire practice, there's no recoil to distract you from it. So if and when it happens, you'll see it. Another big benefit of dry fire practice is that you can do it basically anytime and anywhere. For most of us, this means practicing at home all that we want. And in a day and age where a gallon of gas is costing some people $6, $7, or $8, that's not something to sneeze at. Now, as effective as a tool as dry fire training is, we can make it even better with just a few little tweaks. One of these ways is to use an electronic training aid that will amplify the dry fire training by showing you where and when you might be making mistakes. Personally, I use the Mantis X2 system. There are other systems on the market. Some of them shoot lasers at targets. The Mantis shows you via Bluetooth and motion tracking on your phone any motion that the gun is making during the trigger press and just before or just after the break. Since the Mantis mounts to any 1913 pick rail, putting the system on a weapon is actually really easy. You just take off anything that you have already mounted. You take the Mantis and you slide it onto the rail like that. And then there's a tab on the front here that you pull down on and slide back until it locks in place. Then on the bottom of the unit, there is a small button. You hit the button and that will start the Bluetooth pairing process. And then you just move to your phone. Now that we've got the sensor mounted up on the weapon, we can go over to our phone and open up the Mantis app. And from there, we can select from a very, very extensive number of exercises that they have. They have regular 10-shot drills. They have open training. They have other different kinds of drills from like holster draws to laying on your back sometimes, stuff like that. All different kinds of stuff. And they're always updating the app with other different kinds of exercises all the time. Once you select your drill, the app will move you to the main screen, and this is where the Mantis will assess the motion of the weapon and give you a score out of 100 so that you can gauge your performance. Mantis can also see the movement of the weapon, so it can show you a live trace of the movement of the muzzle, and it can also show you a history of all the shots that you've taken in that session, either on like a round like paper target or broken down into like sectors around a central zone. A quick pro tip on the one with the sectors: if you tap the sector, it'll actually shift over to a screen that tells you what you're doing wrong and offers you advice on how to fix it, which I think is awesome. One last thing I like that Mantis does is that you can add your friends to the app and you can compete with them and show them how much better you are than them at shooting. This is something that has been awesome for me because I've gotten people into shooting and into practicing with Mantis, and we can kind of track each other's progress, and not only that, but hold each other accountable. Like, it shows you how many sessions they've been doing, so you can look at it and be like, hey man, you've only practiced twice this week. I've practiced 6 times. What's going on? Why is your score so low? So overall, the Mantis has been kind of a godsend for me actually in these last couple years that I've had it. It's saved me, I don't even know how many hundreds of dollars in ammo costs. I think I've got 6,000 or 7,000 rounds through it at this point, and the system just makes it so easy to, real quick, just jump in a room, throw the sensor on, and do, 50 or 100 or 150 reps real quick before dinner or before bed or something like that. So it makes it so easy to get the trigger time in, and you get that instant feedback from seeing your score and seeing the trace and seeing the feedback on the target, that you can instantly fix what might be going wrong shot by shot by shot, which is something that you kind of can't do with live fire unless you're really, really, really paying attention. So I personally, just in the time that I've had it, I've seen my groups go from, like really huge and tighten up really, really well. I've gotten much more comfortable with my trigger control. My follow-up shots have gotten quicker, and I'm back on target faster, I think, as a result of this system. So there you go, the benefits of dry fire practice and how adding a training aid into the dry fire practice can make things so much more effective and make such better use of your time. Again, I use the Mantis system. This is just, I guess it kind of turned into a quick review of the Mantis system. I didn't really intend for it to, but this kind of applies to any dry fire training system that you find out there. I think that they're all fantastic and that they bring so much value into the proposition of adding to dry fire practice. So go out and get yourself one. If you're interested in the Mantis, I'll leave a link in the description to the PT blog that will have this linked to where you can get it at Brownells and other places. While you're at the blog, take a quick second and take a look at some of the posts. I've got information and articles on other practical content that I think you'll like. That's all I've got for you today. On your way out, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and until next time, stay safe.